Hello, friend. I'm just waking myself up with a cup of hot Joe here, and you look like the kind of girl that's gonna order an espresso martini, aren't you? I could proffer you a list of carefully curated and crafted cocktails that I've designed specifically for your enjoyment, but you wouldn't order that because you just prefer the taste of sweet coffee. So that's what I'll go ahead and make for you. And I'll explain to you why you should order a different coffee cocktail that is in fact much more complex, nuanced, and delicious. But we'll do it your way, and I'll let you compare, okay? So when I was the tender age of 29, maybe not so tender, beginning to toughen up like an old piece of meat, I found myself single after a 4-year relationship ended, and I was living with this particular gentleman, and I had to move back into my parents' basement. And nothing says success in life like living in your parents' basement when you're cusping 30, right? Right. So we're gonna take some hot espresso. When you make your basic espresso martini, it's essential that you use hot espresso, otherwise it is not going to foam, my friend. So that's what we're doing, we're making it foamy, and here's your little simple syrup because you're not sweet enough, sweetheart. We're just doing a 1/4 ounce of that, and then we're gonna add some ice and give it a little shaky shake. So I'm 29, I'm living in my parents' basement, and I'm finding myself online on the dating apps yet again, trawling the shallow pond that is the dating market in the national capital. I come across a gentleman that looks like he's capable of dressing himself, probably brushes his teeth at least once a day, and could be employed. So in this town, that'll do. You know what I mean? You want to give it a nice firm shake, because we want to make sure we get that beautiful froth so we can put your little 3 coffee beans right on top as a little garnish. So as I'm, engaged in a digital courtship with this particular gentleman, he reveals to me, unironically, that he does not like cheese. He's not lactose intolerant, to be quite clear. He has made an active choice of his own volition to not consume God's nectar that is cheese. Like, have you tried cheese? It's possibly the greatest thing to ever come out of a cow and then be processed into some other sort of deliciousness in a variety of flavors, textures. And it's not just cows. We'll take it from goats and sheeps as well. Let's see if this is any good whatsoever. Because I know this is your go-to order, isn't it? It is, I'll admit, okay, I will admit, it is pretty damn tasty, but it does just taste like delicious sweet coffee. The espresso martini was actually created by a guy named Dick Bradsell at a London nightclub called Fred's Club in 1983. And allegedly, some fabulous, famous model of the time came up to him and said, "Dick, I want you to make me something that's gonna wake me up and f me up." And that's when he came up with the espresso martini. That's a true story. So I'm now going to make you my take on another fantastic coffee cocktail that you really should bring into your repertoire, and it's called the Carajillo. The Carajillo was invented in Cartagena, Spain, but has been popularized in Mexico. So the Mexican Carajillo is having a major moment, okay? I know the espresso martini was hugely popular in the 80s teeny craze, lost to obscurity, and then in recent years has become increasingly popular once again. But the Carajillo is huge. It's huge in Mexico. It's so big that Kellogg's makes a flavored cereal that is the flavor of Carajillo, which is a 1-to-1 ratio of fresh espresso and a unique sweet digestif. Where am I going with this story? I'm all over the place. It's okay, it's fine. Sometimes you get crazy when you're telling stories and making drinks. I have a little spicy clementine cordial here. So while the Carajillo is typically made with just liqueur 43, which is, as I said, a sweet digestif with flavors of vanilla and citrus, I'm kind of recreating those flavors without liqueur 43 here today. So I've got some tequila in there. I've got my little spicy clementine cordial. I'm gonna add some fresh espresso. And then we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla liqueur to get that vanilla flavor in here. So I'm adding just 1/2 ounce of Galliano vanilla liqueur. And we're gonna go ahead and shake this up. We're gonna serve this over ice. So the Spanish version of the Carajillo was served hot. But the Mexican version, which as I said is so popular that they sell Carajillo flavored ice creams, all this sort of stuff, it is served cold on ice. Give this a shake. So when this gentleman told me he didn't like cheese, I said to myself, well, maybe I can live with that. Again, this is a that'll do type of town. And my reasoning was, well, if we're having a charcuterie board, I don't have to engage in a duel of cheese knives to get the cheese because he's gonna only want the meat. So in the end, this could actually be a huge victory for me because it means more gluttony for me and less for him. So when we eventually meet up in person, take our digital courtship offline, we bring it into the real world, which I know is not that trendy these days. When we bring it into the real world, he reveals to me that not only does he not like cheese, but he doesn't like potatoes. How can you not like potatoes? Potatoes are a flavor vector and they can be anything. They're the most versatile of starches, if you know what I mean. It could be scalloped, it could be mashed, it could be double baked and stuffed. That's how I like it. It could be French fries, home fries, hash browns. How does one not like potatoes? And as someone of Irish heritage, I need a drink before I continue with this story because it's traumatizing. I'm having PTSD just talking about this. This is unbelievable. The complexity in this spice, the depth of flavor, you get the citrus, you get the vanilla, compared to this, your very basic coffee cocktail. I want you to try a Carajillo on my version, which is a Taste and Tipple original recipe. So he tells me he doesn't like potatoes. He has no explanation for this mysterious choice in his life. And so I'm like, well, I'm of Irish heritage and my ancestors fled the Fair Isle because of the potato famine. So naturally, that's an offense to my people and I cannot tolerate. So after he told me he didn't like the potatoes, I just ordered the check and said, good day to you, sir. I will not date a toddler. I will not date a man that has the palate preferences of a toddler, and I would also not date someone that orders espresso martinis off menu, okay? Cheers, and make a better order next time, like the Carajillo. But this is for you, because I know that's what you want. Just take it, just take it, just take it right off my hands. I'm drinking this one. Enjoy that.